Well done, Rossi! I've done Ross, that was quality, son!
Take him on, beat him! Beat him!
Is it on?
Yeah. Alright, go on. Go on, start.
I don't know the name. I don't know the names.
Oh, Crumpsall.
No, I don't know the names of them.
Crumpsall now, on the ball, taking it down the halfway line. Cross in the box! Oh, what a goal!
I don't see this for 5 years. Whips it in. It's out. Out to Black. Miskicked.
You know, all these Russian billionaires.
Clark.
All these Russian billionaires.
Out to Goodman, I think. Rosie brings it down. Marked by Clyde. Tackled by
Good
Clyde.
tackle.
Gets away from Feldman. Still Rosie. Looks up. Plays it to Bloom.
Bloom lays
Goodman
it back.
has a shot.
Oh!
Play back! Play through! Go on, slow! Play in! Closing down. Closing down.
Hey, Lucy! Lucy, yeah! Lucy!
J.A.
Nothing!
Right, did you recall that chance? That was absolutely amazing. Oh, just show that you're here, but we were here with you. Didn't have a chance, but you go to the Wings game. Okay, we're here for the second half. At beautiful Oldham Town Stadium. What do you think of the game, Lennon? School has been met.
Let's get back, get back!
Western should be well, we did. Oh, we missed that goalless chance.
It could be 4-1 up now.
I know they could. And also, the good news is Western is not the thing last night.
Go slow!
We should be recording on that side. That must have you when they score.
Crumpsall, come on!
So Nathan, what is Gosson doing off the pitch? To be on the pitch, come on! We're going to lose now.
Got half an hour, Crumpsall, plenty time!
Dan Ross for Dan Rose.
The Ben is a captain. Did he score?
Oh!
Huh? What's he saying? What?
It's not doing too badly. I thought it was offside. He said it was offside. Was it offside?
Offside.
I thought we
Tony's doing a bit better.
Come on, Crumpsall!
Hello, fellow supporters.
Hello.
To the keeper.
on your toes, come on. Come on, boys.
Matt really gets going. You see,
What?
Matt really gets going.
They're clearly rattled now. They need the referee to help them, having just asked me not to blow when players are about to kick. So clearly they're rattled.
Obviously the final is 3 teams, so that's to ask Tim and his officials to come up with their medals.
Oh, Yossi, do you have to press it? Right, there's nothing to press.
Say recording and red.
Yeah.
Just keep it like this.
Okay.
Record the ceremony and then I'll take tips of us with the
Okay, let's start to go for their medals, please. Okay, so we have Crumpsall to come up, the captains to come up last, please. Come on, Crumpsall! Give me a kick. Yeah, kick for the back. Kick for the back.
Charge, you came at the right time.
How do I end this? Yossi, how do I stop this?
This was me receiving the Player of the Season award for Crumpsall. All the players obviously realised what a good player is. In fact, I got it. That is Dave with me, giving the trophy out. Again, a proud moment for me. There's Dave in the morning of the 7-a-side tournament. Looks pretty happy, whoever that is. And there is the 7-a-side winners, the whole team. Congratulations again.
Oh, whose cup this is? Pick it up! Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up! Thank you, sweetie. See what a nicer place this is when we all pick
Obviously, as this is sort of after the football that we've got on, it's pretty obvious after you watching it all that you know exactly what's happened with us winning the 7-a-side tournament, getting to the final of the Tony Cohen, and who can forget the amazing promotion season where we went on a run after losing the first 4 games and going on to actually get promoted. We are now going to ask the manager a couple of questions about the season and how he's felt it's gone, and also we will sort of join in with his brother Yossi, whose arrival from Israel caused a bit of a stir in the Crumpsall dressing room camp. Right, guys? Alright, let's start off. Zaid, how did you feel after you lost in the Tony Cohen final to Westin, which was what, about just over 2 weeks ago?
It was very dejecting because we worked so hard for it all season. We wanted something tangible to take away from it, something to remember it by, some medal, memento, cap it off. And we didn't get it. We worked hard for it, we played well, we should have won, we had the chances, and it was cruelly snatched away by some long-range pot shots. But at least today we have our tangible medals. We have something to celebrate by. So at least it brings the season something to, you know, something to remember it by, something to look at in future years and say, it's not just about almost and maybes. It's actually happened.
Did you actually feel though, before the 7-a-side tournament came, would you have still looked at it as a successful season, considering you got promoted?
Think of it in any other way. We got promoted, which is a success in itself. Got to a cup final, which is a success in itself. Add the two things together with the fact that we started so poorly, and it's a huge turnaround, so one has to be happy with it. And we've raised a lot of revenue and a lot of money for the club, about £4.
Can I actually ask, just how much you've actually spent on Crumpsall this year overall?
Yes, including the training, it was £2,341.
Does that include the Crumpsall second team?
Yes, includes everything. And of that, I think only £249 of that was sponsored. So we spent the team had to spend about £2,000 on the players.
Unbelievable, coming from a guy who didn't win Secretary of the Season when he clearly should have.
Yeah,
absolute disgrace.
Worried about that one, I don't understand that. I'm not going to complain too much about it because it's not my decision, but I was hoping I could get some memento for all this hard work I put in. Backbreaking, well, not quite backbreaking, but all this work and worrying about the teams and all goodness knows what, not being fined a single time, not calling off a single game, but what can you do?
Yossi, let's come on to you now. How did you feel after losing in the cup final?
Well, it was very disappointing because we should have won that match, and that's not just a loser saying that. Westin said we should have won. We had so many chances, and it was just one of those days when nothing went in. So it was very disappointing to know that we lost the game which we should have won.
Do you both sort of feel that in a way winning the 7-a-side has sort of half made up for it?
I don't think it makes up for it because that was an 11-a-side tournament. This is the 7-a-side tournament. It's a bit different. But it gives us something to remember the season by. So from that point of view, we go away happy. And it's finished to the season. It ends the season off. So that's got the power to make the whole season feel good. Whereas, you know, if you lose the last game, it sort of puts it on a downer. But at least we can remember it on a high, go out on a high, and we can relax over the summer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can't make up for losing the cup final, but winning this is definitely will go some way to making up for it.
Can I just ask, before the 7-a-side tournament, there was a bit of problems with you turning up, coming back from Israel. after playing only 2 or 3 games throughout most of the season, coming back playing another game or 2, did you sort of understand 1 or 2 of the players getting annoyed over what had happened with you?
Well, yeah, I definitely understand the frustration from some other players because you know, I wasn't here for most of the season. I was in Israel in Yeshiva, and from that point of view,
can I just interrupt? If you would have been the one playing most of the season and the manager brought his brother in to replace you, I'm obviously putting you on the spot here. You are a good player, however, so from that point of view, but I'm saying, would you feel grievously annoyed if that had happened?
Well, as I say, I can definitely understand where their frustration is coming from, because, you know, here's this guy who's not been here all season, and then he comes over and he walks into the side. However, Zay said to me that I have to justify that, and I feel I've done that because I scored 2 goals today in the final, and, you know, we lost the cup final, but it was because we missed chances, not because I had a bad game or anything. And, I mean, the goal that I scored against Maccabi...
As we can see on the video previously.
Yeah. And as the goal I scored against Maccabi earlier this season proved that I am good enough to play in the team, whether I'm there the whole season or not.
I just want to add, we'll bring it now to the 7-a-side tournament today. We had 10 players. Were you happy with the 10 players you had in your squad?
Yes, I thought we had a fantastic team. Good balance of small players, tall players, quick players, not so quick players, flair players, passing players, experienced players. I thought it was an exceptional mix.
Let's go to the group stages now. Before it started, we weren't sure how it was going to go. The top 7, there were 7 teams in the group. The top 4 go straight through to a semi-final. What were you actually looking on just qualifying, or were you actually looking to finish top?
No, I wasn't looking to finish top. I didn't think we would finish top. I expected to qualify because we got more chance of qualifying than not, with 4 going through and 3 going out. So you got more chance with the handicap in a few games. I thought we would definitely qualify. But yes, it did take me that surprise that we won the first 4 games, and we won them very well as well. I mean, even in that Western game, we played well. We didn't score any goals, but we won 1-0 on the handicap. But we played well, and we went toe to toe to them, and we stood up for ourselves, and we didn't get outplayed. And it was a big shock and a big surprise. But that also adds to the worry that you might win the league and then just fluff your lines, as it were, in the semi-final or final. But it was nice to go on and go all the way. So we thoroughly deserved it on the balance of everything that happened today. We were clearly the best squad and team there. We clearly played the best football, scored the most goals, conceded the least. We hardly conceded any goals. So yeah, I was really pleased with the way it went.
The first 4 games, I will just go quickly through them. You beat Westdean A 1-0. You then went and we beat Roy Rovers next, 3-1. We then went and beat Westdean B 7-2. And then we went and beat the 4th team we went and beat was Liverpool, 4-1. Out of those 4 games, which one gave you the most enjoyment? Would you say that beating Westdean A was the most, because technically they were the strongest team and they did beat us in the cup final?
I think beating Roy Rovers was the best. I mean, they had a lot of players that we recognised. Also, I mean, Westdean we held out and we played a defensive game, and we kept it tight at the back, as it were. So it was sort of like defensive. Here against Roy Rovers, we actually went out and beat them, even without the handicap. We still beat them. So that was probably the most pleasing for me. And personally, the Haldean game, having been the subject of a prank where people tried to pull down my trousers and dive over my legs and try and win free kicks and penalties, it was very pleasing to actually put one over them, as it were, from a personal point of view.
Why do you think you wanted to pull down your trousers, just out of interest?
I have actually got no idea. It was a stupid thing to do in the middle of a highly fought, intense game, to come try and pull down my shorts, only because I tied them too tight to bind in my loins. It saved me from sheer embarrassment.
Well, from the player who did his point of view, it wouldn't be an embarrassment for him. It would have been pure enjoyment.
Well,
why would you pull a pair of
he would have
shorts
looked
down?
a bit stupid. Yes, he would have had a good laugh, but then I think he would have thought, I look a bit stupid here. I think the referee might have booked him and sent him off.
Right, we're going along now to the last group game. By then we were guaranteed of finishing top because we were on 13 points. We'd won 4 and drew 1. We knew that the team we were going to play was either going to be 4th place Sporting or 4th place Westdean A. We knew that we couldn't beat Sporting, otherwise we might have actually played a much tougher team. Do you honestly think that we weren't as much up for the game, and we definitely...
Yeah, no, just bothering. It's also because who would ever play the semi-final, but you want to conserve their energy to play in that, you know. No point overexerting yourself in one more league game and then being knackered for the semi-final. That's stupid.
One question, honestly. Did we let them win? Honestly.
We wouldn't let them win, because if it wasn't for that silly mistake, they wouldn't have scored, but we didn't put as much effort in as we would have otherwise done.
if let's say we would have had to have beaten them to have played them.
Yes, we would have
then-
easily have beaten them, I think.
So obviously we let them off the hook easily to
Even
play
though
them.
the semi-final it was a different game, but we still had the chances. Which is-
Overall in the group stages, who would you signal out as one or two of the main players in there that got us
I
finished
think there were
top?
3 very good players. I thought Simon Freeman played very well, taking people on, setting things up. I thought Gav Cohen was very, very good, running past players, linking up the midfield there. And I thought Yossi running around and closing people down is very important as a gap between the defence and the midfield and the attack. And I thought that was what really, really helped. And then I was impressed with his fitness as well, keep it going. And obviously the pop up. A nice reward for him to score the winning goals in the cup final. Especially it was a goal deserving of winning any game. It was a good turn and shot. So,
Ori,
pleased with that.
Ori Steenberg and Gav, if you're listening to this, this shows what the man just said. Yossi played exceptionally well.
I thought I
And
got all the
deserved to go
substitutions and stuff right. People were shouting at me in the Roy Rovers game table over, and I said no, keeping it the way it was, keeping it tight, playing to the players, and we ended up beating them. You know, people were screaming me all the time, this, that, the other, but we won. So I'm ridiculous.
To be honest, I was a bit disappointed in the final to hear Uri and Gav complain that I was playing only because I was
don't worry. We will get to that soon. We're now going to skip forward to the semi-final when we did play Sporting. What was your reaction when we went a goal down? To be honest, when we went 1 goal down, were you
Well, it
fearing
was
the
annoying
worst?
because we dominated the game. I felt we had the chances to score, we didn't score, and it was a kick in the teeth. And it was obviously a test to see how we would come from the first time being down. So, and we responded well. It was a fantastic move, a fantastic goal, but everybody was tired. You could see there wasn't the same energy levels that there was at the beginning. And Sporting, I think it's interesting that both games went to penalties, which is interesting, and it was a good game in terms of us attacking and passing. We played well, passed it around nicely.
I always believed that we had enough in us to win that game, especially because we dominated the game. I myself missed a couple of chances. Perhaps we could have got a couple of goals up. And their goal, to be fair to us, was I think their first attack on goal. And if we would have lost, it would have been very disappointing to lose to a team which we should have beaten. So I think even though we went through on penalties, we definitely deserved to shave that match.
When it went to a sudden death penalty shootout. Now, with those type of things, it's all about lottery. And look,
Yeah, you never know. You need the muzzle.
both of you must
So
have
we
been
got
very,
the
very nervous when it actually
It was
happened.
nerve-wracking, but it helps when the keeper makes a brilliant save. So you know that even if you miss your penalty, obviously you won't go through that time, but at least you won't go out, as it were.
Did you?
So that
did
makes
you?
it slightly
Did you
easier.
feel confident? Because some penalty takers, did you feel confident in your penalty taker?
Yeah, I felt confident. So I also felt comfortable that Chaim Hobber could make saves. He's made lots of penalty saves this season.
Yeah, he
I felt confident that he could make saves. But it was a lottery, and we had the muzzle.
Now we get to the final. We actually did the first part of achievement, which was getting there and guaranteeing ourselves of a medal. We went to the final last year and lost, which meant obviously that we had added motivation to make sure that that wasn't going to happen again. How did it feel when South went and scored a fluky goal from a
It was
goalkeeping
funny
error?
because they tried to get me to abolish the 1-goal advantage, and then and I refused, and then it was sort of a fluky goal after about 2 minutes. So it was sort of like justice, not justice, but it was like someone say, you've got to abolish the goal, and then we start to level again. So it was interesting that the way it planned, the way they tried to get me to get rid of the goal, and I refused, and then it just happened anyway in such farcical circumstances, which was interesting. But we came back and we won the game, so who cares?
What about at half time when you decided to go and take Uri Steenberg off?
Well, I couldn't
That
understand
was
how
a
everybody
massive
thought to keep
hassle.
Uri on when he clearly didn't look like scoring. He missed lots of chances. He didn't get in the positions that he was getting in at the beginning, and he just looked forlorn up there, and he was messing about. So there was no way that it looked like he was going to score any goals. So I was very disappointed when people got complaining, oh, Uri's going to score, Uri's going to score, because it looked like he got it a barn door.
Well,
and I had confidence in my brother to find the back of the net, and to make the space up front, and to run, and to battle harder than Uri would, and I stood up for myself and fought, even though people would shout.
There were mainly 2 players. I will not say the names, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not bothered
who
about
complained.
that.
However,
we don't need to start
the
fighting.
first player did sort of mention that he thought Yossi was jaded. There was nothing at all to do. He couldn't do a good job. That was the major thing about it. There were 1 or 2 other players that were complaining.
I think at some stage every single person complained about every single other player, which was funny. But at the end of the day, we won, and we got through it all right, and nobody got injured, Baruch Hashem, and nobody couldn't play. Okay, people were tired, but they weren't injured, and nobody really crapped up at all, and nobody pulled ankles or twisted ligaments. It's again part of the muzzle. 160 minutes of football, nobody's getting any problems. It's a big muzzle, especially on the funny hard pitch. You think might be some,
Yossi, how did you feel when you got those 2 goals? Did you feel like it was a sort of justice after all the complaints?
Well, I must say I was very disappointed when I was walking onto the field at half-time in the final to hear not one but 2 players quite loudly demonstrating their point that they thought I shouldn't play, and I heard one guy go, "Oh, he's only playing because he's a brother," and I thought, well, the only way that I can shut them up is to score goals, and that was particularly satisfying to score the goals to shut up my critics. It's always the best way to silence them on the pitch.
Did you feel nervous towards the end when it was when we sort of we took the lead, conceded, took the lead, conceded?
Well, I mean, we started off 1-0 up, and that was lost very quickly. Unfortunately, it was a goalkeeping error. There's nothing that the rest of the players can do about that. But I always felt we had it in us to win. We were absolutely knackered after so much football, but we still, under the circumstances, were quite fit. And even when they attacked us and they scored a couple of goals, I thought we always had enough strength in our squad to at least take it to penalties. And when I scored the second goal, I thought perhaps this will be enough. But then obviously they went and got an equaliser. But when the third goal went in, I thought we should have enough to do it now. And then Shlomi sealed it in the end.
What were your feelings when the final whistle went, Xavi?
It was a great feeling. It's finally because I realised I want to get my hands on it first, as it were, which is important as the captain. You want to, and it felt good, and it was an amazing feeling. It was great. Perhaps not as good as it would have felt if it won the Tony Cohen Cup. That would be even better. But it was still a great feeling, sheer elation. And yes, at moments like this, you forget all the knackeredness.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Let's see if we can just have a look at this shield over here, which you've proudly won. I'm not sure if you can see on the camera. Yes, we can. You can see Leeds Uni. I've won it in 05-06. Westdean Thirds. I've won it in 2007-2008. And if you go down here, there's a blank one there with some sorgy saying Crumpsall Firsts next year, 2000. Well, it's been a great season, and we're now going to leave it with Xavier Saunders lifting the 7-a-side trophy. Congratulations to Xavier Saunders and Crumpsall.
Knows by second. This is Sky Sports News.